And good evening, folks. Welcome back to a new episode of Straight Out of This Week. Um, I hate to start the podcast off on a bad note, but before we get started on this podcast, I'd like to have a moment of silence. I hope everybody's okay with this. Before we get started with this podcast, for Christina Grimmie, she was a singer and YouTuber, and recently she was shot while giving an autograph signing after a concert she had on last Friday night. And it's a really unfortunate incident. This coupled with a couple of unfortunate incidents that have happened recently, the shooting in Orlando, Florida, and again today we lost a 2-year-old child in a horrific accident involving an alligator. So I'd just like to start this podcast off by can we all just have a quick moment of silence for all the people that we've lost over the last couple of days? All right, thank you guys very much, and our hearts and prayers go out to every one of those families out there. It's a tough thing to go through. We all know this. So, blessings be unto you. God bless you all. All right, moving on. So, this is going to be hard to transition, but this week is our E3 special. E3 started on Tuesday, which actually I want to say it actually started on Monday because we had a bunch of press conferences. And for those who don't know, the the Electronics Expo is like a video game. It's help me out here, guys. What is E3?
Well, E3 is essentially like the Electronics Entertainment Expo.
There we go. I don't know
Once
why.
a year, all of
That's
the
what it is.
players in the gaming industry come together to show, like, hey, these are the big things we have coming soon and what we're currently working on. It gets pretty hype every year.
And it seems to be like for the past couple of years, they've topped themselves every time. We always get something that catches our attention, and this year's E3 was no different. We saw a lot of good things. We saw a lot of questionable things. We saw a lot of meh things, but it was pretty exciting this year so far. As we're actually talking right now, E3 is still going on. It's mostly press conferences. All the big reveals have been revealed. As far as we know, you never know. We still have one more day after today. So they might have saved something for the last day. I doubt it, but they might have. So to get started with our little E3 coverage, I want to get started on like the major reveals that we have discovered since Tuesday. And I want to get this started off by going over a lot of the hardware that was unveiled to us from all developers. And the first one we're going to get into right now is the Microsoft announced that there are 2 new Xbox consoles coming out. Javon, you want to give us the one-on-one on that?
Yeah, man. So Microsoft announced that they have a new hardware for us right now. They slimmed down the Xbox One, and they removed the power pack, added some more powerful internals, and we have the Xbox One S. Mm-hmm. Now it's 40% smaller. Microsoft did say it's capable of now supporting 4K content. After further research, we found that it does not mean 4K gaming, but 4K Blu-ray playing and streaming for media and pictures and things like that, but not gaming. But they did say that it has more powerful internals, so we can see 1080p, 60 frames per second, more commonly among developers and games, depending on how you optimize for the platform. They also announced a project for later on next holiday season, and that is the Xbox whatever blankety blank, but it's codename Scorpio. Yes, a codename Scorpio. The Project Scorpio.
Yeah.
That they're saying is going to be the most powerful hardware. Pretty much what everyone's saying. What Sony.
Yeah, it's going to be the most powerful gaming device.
Yeah, that's what they're claiming. I mean, Nintendo said that the NX will, the PlayStation said it will, but all of them said one particular thing that kind of stood out to me, which when it launches, it will be the most powerful hardware. So we don't know what the order of the next the next generation consoles will be, but thinking that it may be one of the back half, devices for the year, this potentially could be an extremely powerful Xbox. And
well, this isn't even a next generation console. That's what the cool thing about it is. This seems like it's an extension of the Xbox One. Still in the Xbox One family, correct?
Correct. So the Xbox, they say they're not trying to cannibalize any of their products. Everything works with all games, even the new games that are released with higher-end hardware. They'll be encoded to take advantage of the graphics performance, but all games will be supported across platforms. Across consoles and controllers and peripherals. Except the one thing I didn't notice that they did take out the Kinect peripheral, and there was no word of Kinect stuff at all during the conference. Maybe Kinect is moving out as a hardware piece for Microsoft, but this moves into the next segment that you have scheduled for us, and that's kind of like the PC Xbox Fusion thing. Looks like Microsoft's trying to kind of either bring you a PC to everyone, or they're trying to convert PC and gaming together. I don't know, but these consoles seem like powerful computers.
All right. Anybody else got anything to add? Got any thoughts on those two new Xbox systems coming out?
Only thing I gotta add is that the thing that got my attention was A, the higher specs, B, the customizable controller seems interesting as far as choosing the color scheme for your D-pad and your joysticks. That seemed pretty cool to me.
Yeah, that did. Yeah. That did seem pretty awesome.
For me, also the new controller that'll come with the new Xbox One S is actually going to be a Bluetooth controller. Yeah. So it'll actually work via Bluetooth with your PC, and I would assume most other Bluetooth-ready devices, whether that might be a smartphone, maybe it's a Nexus player, or your Shield,
Shield tablet,
Shield TV, or the tablet. So it'd be interesting to see the value that we can get from the Xbox controller being available to more devices.
Now,
and it's for $60, I think it's a pretty good deal.
Here's the thing, though, and this is my gripe was because a lot of people may agree that this kind of was a backward in technology, while Wi-Fi Direct is still a better connectivity bandwidth. But I get why they're switching to Bluetooth, because it's readily available. PlayStation has their console stuff on Bluetooth. No one wants to buy adapters anymore for their to play wireless controllers on Xbox, stuff like that. But I do know that latency is reduced dramatically with Wi-Fi Direct. Was there any word that this will still have Wi-Fi Direct for the console itself, or?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I don't think that was mentioned.
Not this time, but maybe they'll announce it down the road.
Well, I mean, they didn't announce a lot. There's a lot of things that were kind of left on,
Yeah, I mean, it has a IR blaster on the front, so that's where.
Yeah. All right, moving on. The next thing that was announced from Microsoft is that cross-play support for the Xbox One and PC. They're really doing it. So this means, Javon, as we were speaking earlier, that this basically kind of starts the end of the console wars a little bit, doesn't it? Where it's everybody can play on any whatever system they own.
Yeah, this is I think we've all seen this coming since last year. Mm-hmm. I'm glad Microsoft is the one pioneering this, because with Windows being the #1 gaming platform operating system for both consoles and just regular computer operating systems, this makes a lot of sense for someone to buy into that Microsoft ecosystem, especially with games that you don't have to buy multiple copies of. So someone like me who really enjoys playing games at the highest graphical quality settings, but I have a lot of friends on Xbox, and for them, it just seems to make more sense to play a game with them. So I can now have the best of both worlds. I think this is a really amazing feature that Microsoft is pioneering, although it's not for every game at launch.
No, of course not. It'll definitely be for certain games. I know one major one that they were pushing was Gears of War 4, which I'm kind of excited about. I really want to get into that game, and that actually has co-op missions that are cross-play supported. So, and that means anything co-op, meaning campaign, multiplayer, it can be played on both Xbox and PC. So that's pretty amazing, and definitely a step in the right direction for gaming. It's good that it's working for Microsoft for the Xbox One and PC, but I kind of hope it does extend to PlayStation 4 players to bring it all under one unified front. But we know that that's a long way from now, and who knows if it'll ever actually happen. Greg, any thoughts?
Oh yeah. See, the thing is, I'm glad they finally announced crossplay. They're not the first to actually try and do this. Independent developers have took it upon themselves, like Valve with Portal 2, for example. Mm-hmm. With the PlayStation 3, if you have Steam installed on a PC, you can cross-play. And again, with Final Fantasy XIV, that also did crossplay with
PC players and
PS4 and PC. So I'm glad that they're doing this now. It looks like they're not half-assing it and putting a serious effort into it. I want to see, like I said, a more unified gaming presentation, but I'm excited that it's going forward. So I'm not even going to focus on the actual history of all of that.
Yeah,
so
it's a step in the right direction.
Exactly.
Maybe one day we can all have whatever system and play together. We can only hope.
You know what's interesting? I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but they kept saying with a digital purchase, you'll have access to the game in both places.
Yeah.
So there's always kind of a hook.
There's always a catch.
I wonder how that's going to work. Say I want to go and buy the physical copy. Do I then only have it on PC or only on Xbox?
Yeah, it seems like.
Yeah, if I have that, then if I have the physical copy, does that change how the DRM works and some of the restrictions as far as doing mods and things? So it'd be interesting to see how they deal with that. If I buy the physical copy, I don't have to play anywhere, but I can do mods. But if I buy the digital copy, then I'm locked in, but I have to play anywhere. So it'd be interesting to see how they kind of work that out for sure.
Yeah. Here's hoping that they do it the right way. And yes, Christian, that is a major concern of mine, the fact that if you buy a physical copy of a game, which many people still do, that they might have the chance to miss out on something like this. Because I know there's a couple of people I know that refuse to buy digital. I don't personally know why I buy most of my games digital, but they rather have the hard copies, and it sucks if that's the way they're going, where it only works for digital copies.
But here's the thing with that. There's two things that just kind of came into mind. The prices of the Xbox current generation and the next iterative upgrade are relatively cheap and way cheaper than consoles were before. We're talking about 2 terabytes for $399. That's a killer price. And at that point, if you buy 2 terabytes, the idea is to put games on it, via the download. And games do run faster that are not, once you remove elements out the way, a spinning disc is still a spinning disc, whether it's a Blu-ray or not. You know what I'm saying? But what I do want to mention, though, is that with crossplay, I just researched just now, it isn't for Steam. This is mean you have to get games from the Windows Store, and I don't know if you guys remember.
Oh, well, there we go. There's the catch.
So
no Steam crossplay, just Microsoft Store crossplay.
Right. So now Microsoft crossplay can launch into. Now Steam can launch into Microsoft's Store, but the big kicker is that I don't know if you noticed, but when the Lara Croft game came out where you can buy a physical copy and have both of them, that was a little promo they had. People downloaded the game for the new Tomb Raider game, and it was just atrocious. Same thing for what's that one game that just recently came out? The movie game? Oh man, the Xbox exclusive one. Help me out, guys. The one where
Quantum Break.
Quantum Break. Thank you. Well, Quantum Break. Both of those games, their Steam counterparts ran close to flawlessly, and when you saw them on the Windows Store, they were abysmal. Dropped frame rates. Resolution crashes. We had digital tears, things like that. Sometimes it won't even load, and because it's the Windows Store, the download process you're not getting a raw executable anymore. So it has to kind of download itself. It's just a little off, now that I'm thinking about it, it's good that they're doing it, but I feel like someone needs to really bring Steam deeper into the mix, because Steam is the number one way, of course there's Origin and Ubisoft stuff, but Steam is the number one way people play games on the PC. And I don't know if you guys remember also, Microsoft, it's not the first time they did this. Remember when we had Microsoft Market or Xbox Marketplace? Windows Marketplace, right? Remember that? Mm-hmm. And we had Lost, Planet 2, and those games were cross-platform with Xbox and stuff, and it was the same issue. Microsoft's computer side of the division don't got it together. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but then again, it could be a developer thing. I could be talking on my butt here, and it could be developers just aren't optimizing things for that download cycle or whatever. I don't know, but they need to sort that out first before you start letting people play together.
All right. For the sake of time, we got to move on with that subject. We're going to get into the next big reveal at E3. was it is the PlayStation VR has an official release date of October 13th of 2016, and it will be starting at $399. So, anybody planning on getting that PlayStation VR? Anybody interested in seeing how that works out?
I would love to get it. Yeah, I would love to get it, but I'm broke. So.
There we go.
It's a steep price.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for something that fits over your eyes, it's very steep. But I mean, the stuff that they got coming out on it is good. I like the game choices that they announced with it, like the Batman game and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I would love to get my hands on a copy, but you know, when you're a broke college student and you got bills, that's probably not going to happen. But
yeah, that's
it looks good. Looks good.
Forgive me, this is I'm sorry we were rude. Let us formally introduce Gerald. He's another Chill Tech guy that hasn't been on the podcast before. This is his first night, and I'm going to embarrass him anyway. So
Thanks,
we
Mike.
didn't even do a proper introduction. He just kind of showed up and just started talking. But Gerald, welcome aboard. Thank you for being on.
No. Oh my God.
We had to do it. We had to do it.
All right, let's get back on topic. So with that PlayStation VR for that price,
it doesn't make sense. I just said you get an Xbox for 2 terabytes for $399. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the follow up with that, I'm just like,
but Javon, you get a full VR headset for $399.
you can buy a $16 Viewmaster. That's a VR headset. Now of course it's much different in terms of hardware. But here's what people are lacking still: that these consoles, although they're becoming more powerful computers, they're not powerful computers. You know what I'm saying?
They're still game consoles.
They're still game consoles. We're talking about laptop-grade graphics cards, laptop-grade CPUs. You know, with a desktop-sized hard drive. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I don't know what your expectation is going into a VR headset, thinking that it's going to be revolutionary compared to everything else that's coming out with with the Vibe and
I don't think for that price it's worth it. I mean,
yeah,
I'd rather pay the $899 for the Vive, which we already did, and play it on an actual hardcore gaming computer. You get the better graphics, you get everything that you actually want, and everything's customized to your specific specs. Yeah, it costs you a lot of money down the road, but the end product is going to be worth the money, I believe. Now, I'm not saying that the PlayStation VR isn't for everyone. There are people that this is perfect for, where if you don't want to pay the $899 and then don't have like a proper gaming computer, if you want to pay the $399 and just play it on your PlayStation, I guess that's fine. It's perfect for you. I mean, then they said they'll have 50 games will be available October 13th at launch. It could be worth it to somebody. Like, I don't want to completely downplay it, because I'm pretty sure this works out for somebody, and they have some pretty cool games that they announced for it. The Batman Arkham VR, the Star Wars Battlefront X-Wing VR missions.
Resident Evil.
Evil.
Yeah,
We're going to get to that one later.
Yeah.
Greg,
well, I think horror games.
I'm just waiting, man.
Horror games are great for these type of consoles because they're so immersive. When you're talking about VR, but the state of VR graphically, it's not. We're not talking about you're living in, what's that game, Sword Art Online. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're very much aware.
I wish we had a buzzer for every time he brings up Sword Art Online. Every time we talk about VR.
Like, okay, what's the point of VR if that's not the end goal? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There has to be an end goal to this, and companies are pushing VR down your throat nowadays. Mm-hmm. And we're talking about mobile companies with Samsung VR, Android Daydream. I'm surprised Apple didn't say anything about it during WWDC. Yet it's just everyone's doing this VR thing, and nothing has been. What's the word? Popping. Nothing's been popping yet with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm still waiting to be. Wow. Now the only thing that really caught me was the Vibe, because there's like a physical wall in game where you can get up and move around. But PlayStation, you're still sitting in a chair with the controller in your hand trying to play a game. You're not really immersed into the game.
Again, but Javon, we can't badmouth it because I'm pretty sure that is what some people want. Maybe some people don't want to be that immersed in it. I mean, like, I don't know if you Javon, you don't play horror games, so I'm gonna put you on the bench right now just for that. There are some people that don't need to be that immersed in certain games. I'm just gonna let you know that now. So you gotta be careful what you say here. That the PlayStation VR is for someone. We can't say what's the point of getting it. This is for someone. I can guarantee you that. The price is decent. It's way cheaper than building your own, VR ready PC than buying the VR headset. I say it's a decent purchase if you're into the Sony PlayStation VR. If I say go for it. If it's for you, it's for you. Anybody else agree?
Yeah, basically, I'm right behind you, Mike. And just to add that final nail in the coffin to Jovan's argument, it's all about the price for entry and then how immersive the experience is. Yeah, with the Vive, it might look better and you can physically move around. Yeah. But it then comes down to game selection. These are familiar titles for millions of people. So if they already have a PS4 that's compatible with it, which there should be all of them, if not a good number.
Well, then let me reverse screw that. Really
hold on. Hear me out.
Hold on, Javon. Hold on.
If they already meet half of that cost for entry, it's a no-brainer to them if they want that VR experience, especially if they don't already have that at home. So with that, plus the footage we've seen, how much will you really notice the lower quality only by comparison to the Vive?
Exactly. You have to literally sit it side by side. And
name one laptop that's VR compatible right now.
That's not the point.
Here's the relevancy. Here's the relevancy, right? We're talking about hardware. VR is if you said it's supposed to be immersive at an entry price of $399. Mm-hmm. How immersive can you be if you're lagging and stuttering in game?
We didn't see any lag.
And we're talking about
we haven't seen any lag.
We're talking about the PlayStation. Just kind of look up, some of the people we play this games over the next couple weekends. We'll see some early impressions. What happens.
Like that's the best way. We take it like
console stuff.
You're also on mute. Gerald, you're on mute, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Something was going on outside.
But we're talking about also because I don't want to drag this on too much. But off the jump, both the Oculus and the Vive have over 200 games to boot with VR. That's more console. That's way more titles. And then on top of that, we're talking about the Steam library, which is vastly superior. Because PlayStation's #1 biggest problem right now is games. There's not many titles right now for PlayStation. So I doubt that VR will change this anytime soon. Games are very important, and Oculus and Vive have the games.
I'm just saying, $399, you get 50 games to start off with, plus some of the games that are already on the PS4 are VR compatible. I'm not going to knock this price. I'm not going to knock it. I'm just saying that this might be for someone. I'm sorry. Not everybody can afford the Vive and a nice gaming PC.
And then again, as far as performance goes, you have these specs out of nowhere to compare to the Vive and the VR. We have to see how the VR performs. People have been playing it since it was announced. So far, all the reviews I've seen, everything seems extremely smooth. For example, once they unveiled the infamous kitchen trailer for Resident Evil, they announced that the full game is playable at E3 for the entire week. I've yet to see one bad review.
Yeah, and
that's like someone going to a movie premiere and be excited about a movie premiere and say it was awesome because I was at a movie premiere.
No, Javon, but see that's the thing. Like you have to see that. Remember, your argument was that there was going to be lag, that the graphics performance was going to be bad.
We're talking it's console, right?
But we haven't seen that yet. Like I said, this is for someone, and for sake, we're all rambling at this point. We've all made our points. Javon disagrees. At the end of the day, whatever we say, Javon disagrees.
No, I'm not disagreeing. So, I'm not disagreeing to disagree.
Hey, hang on. Just to avoid going around in circles so we can go to the next topic, I'm going to close out this discussion by saying, let's see what happens.
Exactly.
I'll check it out.
Coming to T-shirts soon.
Agreed.
All right, moving on to our last bit of hardware news. And this is funny hardware news because this is another year at E3. Nintendo did, 2 press conferences? And we still have no new Nintendo console, people. Nothing. Nintendo pretty much they lacked this year. They really did. Exactly. They seem to do this every year. Granted, they had a decent game reveal, which we will go into later on in the podcast. But come on, this is third year that they've been here and they haven't revealed nothing new yet. They're not trying to upgrade the Wii. What is it? The Wii U? Yvonne, you have it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they haven't upgraded that thing for a while now. What are you guys thinking?
I mean,
they don't need to. Their next project is going to be the NX. It's just a matter of time as far as when they'll announce it to kind of like mitigate some of the rumors that are already out there.
Christian, what are you thinking?
Wishful thinking. Look, in my opinion, I've been saying this for years. They need to do what Sega did and get out of this hardware business. Keep mobile. Keep the Game Boy. They do very well in mobile. But the console thing, just let it die. Just let it go.
I don't agree with that.
Because they're very good with games. They're very good with the games. Stick with the games. If they put Zelda and Mario and all that on Xbox and PlayStation, they're gonna sell. They're gonna sell like a bajillion copies.
Right.
It'll be ridiculous.
Right. I'd buy Mario.
But the hardware is for children still. Like what adult that doesn't have a child, for the most part, in the expanse of all the gamers that have a Wii, how many adults without children buy a Wii?
I would say Javon technically, because before Jordan existed, he bought that Wii. I'm just putting that
but he was
Javon buys everything. Javon buys everything. Like not a Javon, like not a person that just buys every console. You know what I mean? Like a person that's like, I want a game. Let me get a Wii. Like
there's no one that says that, because most people that get a Wii, they have a specific game they want.
They're a Nintendo fanboy. Like I said,
hold on, when it comes to Gerald was going to say something. Gerald.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say I'm between Greg and Christian on this. Like, one thing I've noticed about Nintendo, like even when they do put out a console, I mean the Wii U kind of did okay, but when they originally released the Wii, that went over really, really well amongst everyone. I mean, we bought one that year and everything. Like, it was the hot thing to get. I mean, mainly because they were the first one to do that whole like wand thing or whatever that Xbox and Sony picked up later. But I mean, they're obviously working on something. They just don't have anything yet. So kind of like Greg, I think, once they finally release their next project, hopefully next year, it might like prove otherwise. But again, with Christian, at the same time, they have their consoles have started to market towards the younger crowd. But I do agree that they might fare better sales-wise if they start putting some of their games on other consoles as well, kind of like Sega was eventually turned to do. So like I see where both of you guys are coming from. So I guess. Just I'll say all that to be like, yeah, I'm on the fence with you guys, but that's like, just my 2 cents.
Yeah, tell me when Nintendo last competed graphically.
That's never been their aim.
Yeah,
but I'll tell you this: Nintendo and all the companies that I've seen when it comes to gaming, they are the most minute, detailed gaming developers when it comes to getting hardware to work at its maximum performance for the software. And the best indication of that was Super Smash Brothers. The hardware is trash. Let's be real. The hardware is trash. My phone is more powerful than my Wii U. But I'll tell you this. No game has run better that year than what Smash Brothers did. 60 frames per second, 1080p, guaranteed. How many games have we said that for any of these consoles this year? That was guaranteed, so buttery smooth. Besides Overwatch, that has been just butter and no lag at all, no teardrops, no freezing, no frame freezes. Like those are like that's what Nintendo does very, very well when it comes to end results. The problem, like everyone is saying, is that their hardware has been so lackluster. No developers want to make games for them, and they are not going to survive with first-party titles anymore. I love Mario. I will buy every Mario game that comes out. I love Pokemon. These are awesome things, but it does not justify the price of a console. And at the NX, they needed to say something this year about the NX. They had to say something, whether it's, the NX will have 10 games that boot. That would have been better than nothing. But the fact that they're saying that they didn't mention anything at all makes me feel like
it shows lack of confidence. That's what it shows.
Right, and it makes me feel like we're going to get another.
They're not ready. They're not ready to reveal that.
I'm telling you right now, the people who buy consoles are the Call of Duty fanboys, the Madden fanboys, the Live fanboys. The Call, what is it? Halo, and what's that game everyone plays? The PlayStation game. So number 4 now.
Uncharted. Yeah.
Uncharted. Those are people that those are hottest selling games, right? The hottest selling games by the millions. Nintendo, like, you know what I'm saying? They're not. They can't even. Can you imagine running Call of Duty? You know what I'm saying, on a Wii U, running at 480p at, you know what I'm saying, at 30 frames per second, and still getting game tears? Like,
all right. Here I come to push you off your soapbox. Sorry.
All right, you can try, Greg. You can try.
We have to establish a clear understanding. When people buy consoles, most of the time, it's because of the cost for entry if they don't have a gaming computer, or if they just don't want that. So when you look at Nintendo's MO since, well, GameCube, well, let's go back further, since Nintendo 64 up to now, graphics and absolute hardcore gameplay that Sony and Microsoft have been known for, that's never been their angle. They're about creating as many experiences that anyone can jump into regardless of their age or skill level. For example, a retirement community recently had a Wii bowling tournament, like Wii bowling, not Wii U, Wii bowling. So many of them competed, and one of their contenders even set the record for that community for, like, score-wise. And these people enjoy it. Like, they're aiming for people who just want that type of experience. Sales-wise, I'm with Gerald and Christian on that. They could make other decisions to guarantee more money, but as far as what they do, creating that pick-up-and-play sort of experience, that's been them since, I'm not going to say 64 because the controller was extremely weird, learning curve was a little high, but I'll leave that there. From then, it's been that, like, just pick up and play.
Check this out. As a business, right? As a business.
Hold on.
Nintendo wants
we
to profit.
gotta remember our time limit. So Jerome,
Yeah. I just want to make one last little point here, because I do want to. I pulled up a chart just so I can make sure I have all my facts, together. Like Christian said, their best selling has always been handheld. The only thing that they've ever outsold anyone in hardware for the last, that is since 2001, right? The last hottest selling console, before the DS came along, sorry, 2002 was the GameCube. They outsold the PlayStation for 6 months, right? Now, they only made on the GameCube $21 million. That is their lowest selling console, right, for their lifespan. Now, the issue is that they've been going slightly up with the handhelds, and way more down, except for the launch of the Wii. The Wii brought them back into almost $100 million in profits. They made $95 million that year, but while the rest of the consoles were making over $150 million. Right? Now it dropped. Now the 3DS, which is their portable, has dropped way lower than their actual DS. They actually lost over $190 million in profit because of the 3DS sales. They sold 20 million units and made $17 million.
Remember when you said this was going to be a short point?
Yeah. The bring it to the point is that their hardware business is lacking, and they needed to bring something to the table. And though the NX is down the way, and we heard rumors of it being extremely powerful, like Christian said before, the gaming, their mindset is still for children. If Nintendo doesn't grow up, it's only a matter of time.
At the end of the day, it's not going to last by keep hitting our nostalgia buttons. Nostalgia buttons aren't the way. It's not the way to run a business. However, we're not real businessmen, so we listening to business advice from us could screw your life. So Nintendo, keep doing you. Do what you got to do. It is unfortunate that they didn't do anything. Hopefully next year they bring it, or hopefully they announce something, because I'm pretty sure their press conference is still going on.
I think so.
Literally, it still might be going on. All right, so now that was most of the hardware news. I think we covered most of it. If we missed anything, just let us know. But now it's time to get into the real thing that people go for E3 for,
Yep.
And that's games. Games, games, games. And there were a ton of reveals this year. Now, I'm going to start off the game section. We're going to start off a little cold by bringing you the news that Elder Scrolls V Skyrim is getting a re-release on Xbox One. I don't know if you guys are into Elder Scrolls at all. Any of you guys Elder Scrolls fans?
Yeah, but every
Play Skyrim a little bit.
All right,
I started in Morrowind.
All right. Well, that has been completely remastered. Bethesda did a whole video comparison of it, and it should be released on PS4, Xbox One, and PC this year on October 28th. Are you guys going to be picking up the remastered edition of Skyrim?
Nope.
Probably not, but it looks beautiful.
It does, doesn't it? Like, graphic-wise, it
impressive.
looks amazing.
How many of you guys play Skyrim on PC? All right. So you seen the trailer compared to actual PC gameplay from 5 years ago? Nothing looks new at all. If anything, it looks duller than PC. So, yeah.
Well, that's the same thing they compared it to with the Arkham remasters that they're doing. They said that it doesn't look as good as they did on PC. So that's another thing. What are you guys thinking about these digital remasters? Do you think it's worth it, or do you like? Here's what I've always been with. If I have a game on PC and then they decide to come out with something on Xbox One as a remastered edition, I'm not going to buy it because I already have it on PC. It's already HD and remastered. It looks amazing on PC. Do you guys think, is there a market for this? Because they keep, apparently it has to be, because they keep
Like,
doing
it's
there's
people that don't have PCs. Is what it's for.
Yeah.
And like Greg said earlier, like the big thing is that not everyone. Well, here's the big thing: not everyone is going to buy a PC, mainly because of ignorance. People don't know.
Come on, man.
Okay.
Let's be real.
No.
Listen.
I can't even let you go on. No, you can't say things like that.
Here's
First of all,
the truth.
everybody. No, Javon, 'cause I already know where you're going to go with this.
Where are we going
Javon,
with this?
everybody has a choice in what they want to game on.
That's
they want to
fine.
game on
That's
consoles.
fine.
It's not a thing of
How many
ignorance.
people
Maybe
know
that's what they
that you
prefer.
can build a big PC for $400?
Most people know that haven't ever worked with a computer know that they can do a lot more on a PC because it's an actual PC. But maybe people just prefer to play
Everyone
on
who
console.
does PC gaming would let you know. Even Mono War Negro's team over there at Gaming Illuminati, shout out to Gaming Illuminati, they'll tell you that the biggest thing is that people just don't know. So people will, there's always a market for re-releases, because like Greg said, never everyone's going to buy a PC. And because there are consoles are relevant, consoles will always be relevant for a long time. But until people start waking up and seeing that, hey, you're buying yesterday's trash because remasters are just, a PC port, that's with slightly better graphics. But it's due to ignorance. People don't know that console gaming and PC gaming can be done at the same price point.
Yeah. Now I'll tell you why for years I didn't have a gaming PC when I finally went and got the Xbox 360, because for some reason game developers, when they develop for consoles, they're able to stretch out that hardware for like 6, 7, 8 years and get every bit of performance out of it. When it comes to PC, they build to like the max settings all the time, and so after a couple of years, you're almost forced to upgrade your PC to take full advantage of the new games. And I was in a place where I was like, you know what? I don't have a lot of money. Looking forward, I want to play X, Y, and Z. I can get that on console. So for the time being, I'm just gonna get a console and stick with that. And I have to think about upgrading graphics cards, RAM, those kind of things.
What do you think about
it? I think PC gaming is still more for hobbyists. Like I think like people that just like to game probably won't get a PC. PC gaming, I think, in a broader sense, is more for people that like PCs. Like they like computers. And so if I like computers, I don't need to have a computer and a console.
Well, now that we have consoles launching every 2 years, we have iterate upgrades to consoles launching every 2 years, which is the same idea of upgrading specs. Small 90 specs. At this point,
you're paying more money when you upgrade a console.
Right.
So I see what you're saying with the price point, and yes, maybe people aren't knowing, but I wouldn't put everyone in that category.
Yeah.
Because there are certain games that I would prefer to play on my Xbox, and there are certain games that I'd rather play on my PC. I mean, we just did it recently. Like when the latest Black Ops came out, we knew most of our friends would be playing it on Xbox. So we were like, why get that on PC? It's a crap-looking game anyway, so why not buy it on Xbox?
Yeah, I agree. There are certain games. Go ahead, Mike.
No, go ahead.
All right. No, I agree. Like there are certain games that, like, if I'm playing a shooter or even like a fighting game, I would rather play that on like an Xbox or a console of sorts. If it's more strategy based or maybe something that's a little bit more, I guess, not so much action heavy, then I would probably play that more on a PC or whatever. But I don't know, something about having a controller in your hand for more action-y kind of shooter type games just feels better for me personally. And I think that's what a lot of people would also go with. You know, from a price standpoint and a graphics standpoint, I guess, yeah, you know, it comes out about the same, or like graphics-wise, you know, PC is obviously better. But I think just for having the feel of it, you know, it's I think console still has a outlet for especially those kind of games.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Console is simple. Like you buy the game, it works for your console. There's no having to look at the specs. I just remember like the relief of, okay, this game is out, I can go buy it and play it. And it's interesting how Microsoft is doing that now with the Xbox One family. How you can buy a game in several years and it'll work with the new Xbox or the old Xbox One. And it'll still work. They'll just scale the graphics up depending on which hardware you have. And so it's basically going to be like PCs again. And what's interesting also is that we're getting to where consoles are getting more like cell phones. We're becoming accustomed to buying a new cell phone every 2 years. How much does a cell phone cost? More than a console.
Right.
More than a console. And we do that every 2
Yeah.
years now. And we put an installment contract and we don't think about it, but it's the same thing. And so I think we've gotten accustomed to 2-year upgrades. So this console thing I don't think is going to affect people as much as we think as far as budget consciousness. But anyway, I think we beat it dead.
I think we beat the dead horse.
Yeah. New horse.
Moving on to the next game. All right, so I don't know if many of you guys have been following this news, but there was a game called The Last Guardian that for a couple of E3s ago, a long time ago, was going to be a PS3 exclusive. This game looked amazing on a PS3. Like, even for PS3 standards, it looked amazing.
It did look great.
But they announced it, and we had heard no release date, and it's been years. Finally, E3 2016, I believe we have a solid release date for this, guys. And is anybody really excited for this game? Have you guys watched the trailers for it?
Yes.
I forgot about it.
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot about it also. I was like,
I'm
what?
very excited to play this.
Thank you, Greg. It looks
As a huge fan of Eco and then Shadow/Wander and the Colossus, I'm all for this.
Yeah, I mean, the storyline looks amazing to me. It just looks like a fun game. I can't wait till they riddle it with microtransactions, though. But I mean, it looks pretty cool. So, what was your experience with it? Have you been following it this whole time, Greg? From back when it was PS3 exclusive?
I remember when it was announced. I forgot about it, and then I saw it announced again on this E3, and I lost it. I was like, oh yeah, that okay, and then that, I guess, nostalgia or remembering the quality of the 2 previous games made me reinvigorate my excitement for this. So it looks really good so far. And a lot of the reviews that I've seen from people who've had the early play on the show floor have had a lot of good things to say about it.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to Dina Tech. She said, "Hey guys." So, hey guys, I think it's Dina Tech, right? Let me double check here. Dina. What's up? Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So shout out.
Alrighty then. All right.
It's a dude. It's a dude. All right, my bad, bro. Shout out. Thanks for watching.
Next up, we have. Has everybody got what they wanted to get out of The Last Guardian? I think me and Greg are the only ones excited. That's what I got.
No. I definitely, I've been following the game. The thing about it is that I don't like when a lot of companies, this happens a lot now, where they announce something and then they're like, yeah, it's coming out November. Okay, it's not ready yet. It's coming out October. Yeah, it's coming out for the next console. Yeah, so we stop working on the game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Allison Road. Anyone? Allison Road.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like that as a gamer, that's frustrating. That's very frustrating. I'm not with it.
As a gamer, that's definitely frustrating. On the flip side to that, as a developer, you got to be aware of like what happens in that chaos.
Yeah,
there could be a number of factors.
It could be things out of their hands that they literally had no control over.
Remember Watch Dogs, and when it first got launched and or announced, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, this game is like the sickest game ever." You know, the graphics are awesome, and it has like super great gameplay, and it's gonna be amazing on all consoles. And then it drops, and then it's like, yeah, it's supposed to drop. You know, was it fall of that year? Oh yeah, so because of the high demanding graphics, we're gonna have to push it back a couple months. Oh, okay, because now that the graphics are there, we upgraded the graphics. It's a little buggy. We're gonna push it back again, and then they're like, oh yeah, we have to scale the graphics back down again, and then they launch it, and then when they launch it, it's buggy. It's like you can't do that type of stuff as a developer. Like you either gotta like, you know, make your games work really well, or just stop promising shit. Shut up and just show the gameplay and be like, all right, it comes out when it comes out. I'd be happy with that.
All right, this might sound kind of harsh, but you are a very entitled gamer, dude.
Like, you really are. He is the definition of entitled.
Just to expand again on the developer side, once they're excited for the game and they've gone through a certain amount of testing, they will give the announce date. But there's still testing going on.
Yeah, exactly.
And then if there's a bug reported during the testing phase, they go back, look at the bug, and then if it looks like it's going to take longer to fix this, then again the date gets pushed back. And that's just one facet of why they get delayed.
Remember when Blizzard announced Overwatch, right? No release date. A year later, right? When the game was pretty much and it's out and it was like a month away from public beta. They announced a release date, and
however,
it was.
But not every development team's going to be like that, Javon.
I seen. Hey, Rocket League can do it. Why can't everyone else do it?
Because the games don't not all games run like Rocket League.
So are we giving developers passes now for half-ass games?
I'm not giving them passes for half-ass games, but for development time, yeah, development time. I'd rather have a good game than a buggy game.
Right.
Like, why would you announce
okay.
All right.
Regardless, because now
I don't want to go wrong on this. I don't want to go wrong on this. But
all right. So go ahead, Jovan.
All right. If you announce a game and you get a pre-order and you pay money up front, right? And you don't deliver. If I said, Mike, I got you with something at this day, you pay me money up front.
For time's sake, I'm going to have to say I agree with you. Moving on.
Thanks. I'm fine with that. I said that victory.
Yeah. Gosh. All right. Another game reveal was, I don't know if you guys remember this game. I think it was around 2006 when it came out. It was a video game called Prey. Based on, I think the three main characters were Cherokee Indians that were abducted. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble with pronouncing words tonight. Abducted into an alien environment. I never personally played this game. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I didn't even hear about it until I saw this new trailer for Prey at E3, and this trailer, it got my attention. It really did. It looked graphically looks amazing. The storyline I don't know yet, but for some reason that trailer really grabbed me. It was basically the guy waking up every morning to his like futuristic alarm telling him what he had to do today. Looking into the mirror, his eye was getting like worse and worse. It was really creepy, and you got a few in-game some gameplay in that trailer. What were you guys? Did you guys catch that trailer or reveal?
Yeah, I saw the trailer, and that's one of, I would say I'd put that in my top 10 as far as games I didn't know about. And then the trailer captured my attention and made me interested. So
it was pretty amazing.
It looks very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a way that a lot of developers miss these days. Is all it takes. You might have had like a crappy, and not to say that Prey 2006 was crappy, because I'm pretty sure they got rave reviews. But this is how you capture a new audience. And later on, we'll discuss, because there was a game that was released by Sony that's being heavily debated right now. But this is how you capture a newer audience. Because I'm pretty sure Prey, the original 2006 game, had its audience. But now they've got me with this trailer. It was amazing how they did that reveal. So that was good marketing. I just got to say kudos to them for that type of marketing and making it interesting. We're gonna do sound effects all night tonight.
Thanks, Javon.
All right. You want to move on to the next game? Oh my gosh. Now he's gonna go sound effects crazy.
Somebody take the button. Somebody take the button.
I know, right? Anybody want to move on to the next game, or you guys got some more to talk about Prey?
No,
I'm good.
All right, let's keep it going. Resident Evil 7. Now, this is pretty amazing. This is actually revealed at E3 and is also a playable demo on PS4 right now. So if you have a PS4, you can go download and play this demo right now.
Hey, yo, shout out the demos, yo. Remember those days? Remember
Shout
those
out
days?
demo discs.
Demo disc.
Demo
Yeah.
discs.
Shout out to
Demo
Gamer.
disc, yo.
What?
Yeah.
Gerald, I think you're a bit too young for that.
Demo.
what?
Yo, Rambe.
A bit too young for that.
I'm like,
Demo
huh?
So yeah, this playable demo, it's getting a lot of attention. Some positive, some negative. Some are saying that it's copying PT a bit too much. And for those who don't know, PT was a playable demo that was by, forgive me, I'm going to mispronounce this dude's name. Hitomi Kanik. I can't. The guy who created Silent Hill, and he does the Metal Gear Solid games. I can't pronounce the name. I'm sorry, but he had collaborated with Guillermo del Toro on the new Silent Hills game. That was, again, like Javon said earlier, was another game that they promised and then canceled on us, and it played out a lot like that, where you're stuck in a house and you gotta solve certain different ways to get out, and then you're attacked by somebody, and that's how the thing ends and introduces you to the game. I think this is a pretty unique way to market games. What are you guys thinking about it? Did you guys get a chance to see the gameplay and see the trailer and all that?
When I looked at it, it was one of those things where they showcased it in their Sony's presentation during their VR set.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in this first-person view, and I started watching when it said like the kitchen or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And as the screen started showing the actual kitchen, I was like, "Yep, this looks like a whole lot of Note." And as it was panning out, I then started to realize, all right, this style seems very familiar. And then I saw the actual title, and I was like, okay.
There we go.
Right.
You know what's great? It's bringing Resident Evil back to its horror roots. Lately, they've been focused on action and more action gameplay. This one is taking it back to its survival horror roots.
Which I prefer, though.
But everyone, you don't prefer it. Stop lying to yourself. We all like you're not gonna
I don't
play
like the scary one.
So, but they did, like Greg said, they brought it in a new perspective. That the first player perspective. You excited for that, Greg? Or are you going to be playing it? Which I should. Are you going to be playing it with me, Greg?
Definitely.
You're not going to leave me alone.
No, I'm not going to leave you alone on that one. I'm very excited to check that out. And as far as returning to their horror roots, I would definitely liken the experience just off the trailer closer to like the first and second maybe Resident Evil. And like, because I've had many discussions with other friends as far as like the comparison between Resident Evil and Silent Hill and what type of scaring they're doing. So the fact that it's being debated right now as far as PT versus Resident Evil 7, I think it's funny, but I'm all aboard for that debate.
See, my thing was I thought they took that route, but they did it in a newer way that I found to be interesting. And it's I don't think they were biting them at all. They respected how PT did, where it was a circular room. This one was just a normal house. Got to find your way out. You're not going to find your way out, but find your way out. That's just pretty much how they played it. And I don't if you guys have seen the demo gameplay, I thought very creepy environment. They didn't outright try to scare you, just a creepy environment, and that's really all it takes.
Which one was the one for PS2? When it was still scary. Was it Resident Evil 2? Resident Evil 3?
Anything up before
Resident Evil 2 was PS1.
So Resident Evil 4 was the last scary one, I believe.
Was that PS2?
Yeah.
I
remember I played at my cousin's house when I was younger, and you know when games are so good, but they're scary, but you got to keep playing because they're so good. Like, I gotta know what happens. Like, that was dope. I did personally I, as an individual, liked when it got a little bit lighter in the action scene and stuff, because, you know, I based off the movies, because I was like, you know, trying to go to sleep at night, you know what I'm saying? I can't run all the lights on, you know, that breaks the electricity bill. But, you know, it's kind of cool to see them going back to their roots. And I may play with y'all on this one, man. It's kind of dope. I ain't gonna lie.
It does look amazing.
Yeah.
All right, and next up we have Battlefield 1. And this Battlefield, again, I gotta say, this looks amazing.
Yeah.
This put Call of Duty to shame.
Call of Duty's been a shame.
All you COD fans out there, I'm sorry. Battlefield, they won.
Battlefield, they're geniuses. They looked at Call of Duty built its success off the World War II games. And Battlefield started off with their modern games, and then they kind of did this opposite thing or whatever. Well, first they were like tag, or like, doing all the modern stuff, and then Call of Duty got crazy and was like, all right, let's throw everything into the future and keep pushing it, and then it started turning into like a weird Halo kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then like all of a sudden, Battlefield's like, you know what, we're gonna keep pulling it back. They turned it into cops, and then like, you know what, we're just gonna drop it all the way back to World War I and just kind of roll from there. And it looks great. I'm excited for it. They put it back to that soldier mindset, being on the battlefield, running around with your squad, taking care of business, up close and personal, and that kind of thing, and not a bunch of hacking into stuff. Just go take this bunker, don't get shot, and I'm excited for it. So,
man, I want to give EA, a round of applause, yo. You know what I'm saying? Now, I do like
applause out.
Now, but in all seriousness, though, like when I saw, I don't know if you guys noticed when they both, like, it was a day apart. The COD trailer for the Infinite Warfare dropped, and then the next day it was like Battlefield trailer, and the COD trailer looked like a Star Wars lightsaber, bro. Like, it was so much red on that dislike button, it was so bad. Like, everyone was like, "What is this? What is this trash?" Is the guy from Game of Thrones in this? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was super crazy. And then, but as a person who likes to be as open-minded as I possibly can to game trailers, I was like, Call of Duty doesn't look bad. It's just not really innovative. Even though they're going to space, no one really cares because everything's very futuristic anyway.
Yeah, it's not what people want.
Yeah, right? And then when I saw the Battlefield trailer with the music and it's the way, the old guns and, like, that real, believe it or not, Call of Duty old school, like you said, Gerald, I was like, bruh, they're done is truth on everything. And then the graphics look good, and we've always known that Battlefield's always been better than COD when it comes to graphics and gameplay because it's more realistic. And
none of them beat Medal of Honor, though.
Right, of course.
Medal of Honor looked like a PS4 game. Medal of Honor looked like a PS4 game back in the day.
Right.
Whatever happened.
But I'm just impressed by Battlefield's decisions to not only do this, but to do it in a way where they're like, yeah, we're taking it back, eat it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't care. And COD is doing a lot. I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but, if you pre-order Call of Duty, you get Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 remastered, which is actually a really great game. Which actually, that's one remaster I wouldn't mind playing. But the fact that you get that for pre-order and people are like, I still don't care, you're getting two games for one, and people will still rather buy what it seems like to me right now, Battlefield 1. So this is this could be the shooter game, man, like, of the year. This could be like the shooter game of the year, hopefully.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yep, definitely.
All right. Next up is the trailer that me, Greg, were most excited for. This one, this almost brought a tear to my eye. This trailer was crazy. So let's set this whole scene up for you. This is what opened Sony's press conference. They were like, "Hey, we're here to talk about our new stuff. But before we get to that, just want to show you this game real quick. Not going to tell you what it is. We're just going to show you."
Wait, hang on. Go back to how it started. It opened with an orchestra. And they said nothing.
They had an orchestra. I forgot. The game music wasn't even ready yet. They had the orchestra playing the game for you. Oh, it was all right. So here's how it opens. Here's how the trailer opens, because we're about to do a whole breakdown for this one. So it opens up with this kid playing outside, and it looks like it's set in Nordic times. Little kids just playing around. And guy calls boy, get in here, and calls him in, gives him his mother's knife, says they're gonna go out hunting because he's hungry. Next thing you know, we see Kratos, the god of war, walk out of the shadows. That reveal, We're going to get into this debate later, but that won E3 for me. That alone was amazing. I'm a big God of War fan, always have been. Me and my brother used to play that game. We had all those games. The PlayStation, the little PSP ones, we had them all. That was our favorite series. So that struck a chord in my heart when I saw that trailer, to see that he's back and apparently set into he'll be fighting the Norse gods this time. So that's something that they had said a while back that they wanted to delve into. And you guys got any thoughts on God of War?
Yes, I'm definitely
good.
looking forward to seeing how this pans out, because the presentation drew me in. The nostalgia from thoroughly enjoying the previous games drew me in. And then to see that they are taking a new approach with him, the voice acting and everything was on point. The writing, as far as how the scripted events play out, and it seems like it's done organically to further draw you in. It was extremely well done. I mean, he's immortal, so it would make sense for him to be in a new era at some point. Like, he was shown angry the first 3 games, and now
he's calmer. Like, he's trying to hold it
now. Right, like it's like, all right, so I'm glad he's in this space.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? Is he going to show that he can completely control it?
I actually found out the details on the game, so I got the scoop on how this game's going to go. So this game is going to run like The Last of Us, where it's going to be Kratos and his son, and you'll be able to control his son, but not in the way you control Kratos. And as you saw in the gameplay, it's dealing with how he's treating his son after becoming, after those 3 games, he was dealing with his anger. And I think the developer said, with those first 3 games, we told the story of the Hulk. Now we're going to focus on the story about Bruce Banner, and this is him controlling that anger and showing that he can raise a son and trying to get him prepared for what's coming. And we don't know the whole story yet. And another cool thing about this game will be single shot, no loading screens. That is pretty awesome. So it's going to be this whole linear gameplay story.
Isn't Kratos dead?
What'd you say?
Isn't Kratos dead?
No, he didn't die at the end of the game. In God of War 3, he basically got up and walked away because Kratos is a badass. I'm not lying, am I, Greg? He basically got up and walked away from that fight with Zeus, like it was nothing. After he destroyed the world, that's just how big Kratos is.
Play the third one, Giovanni.
Yeah, you gotta at least play one of those games to get the feels that me and Greg got. Like,
seeing this trailer, I'm going back to play the third one.
Yeah, like I have to buy a PS4 now. Like, I literally have to save up to buy one now. I need one. I need to play the remastered God of War. Brought back so many memories. Any of you guys get anybody else here play God of War?
Well, I told you guys I've never had a PlayStation.
Yeah.
So shoot me. So I never played the game, but I will tell you, looking at that trailer, like, for me, it was like watching a really good movie trailer. Like, I was like, I want to know the story about it. Like, for me, I wasn't even thinking about gameplay. I want to know what's going on, what's happening in this story, and I wanted to know more. And so it really pulled me in as someone new to the series. I was like, wait,
goes back to that marketing thing.
I can play this. Now, am I going to buy a PS4 for this one game?
Probably not.
No. But if I had a PS4, I would definitely get the game. Yeah. And I'm excited to see and to know. I mean, I have to go read, like, what's happening in the story, like, what's going on, who is this boy, and what happened to his mother, and, like, who are they going to face now, like, what's happening. So for me, it really sucked me in that way with that whole trailer, for sure.
And that's what we talked about earlier, is about marketing and how you market your product. Mm-hmm. Sony, Santa Monica, they did it right. There were a lot of. I'm not just gonna ride them and say they were just the only ones that did that, because Prey did it. There were a couple others. Dead Rising 4, they did it. They just know how to really. I think E3 this year was a great marketing experience, because a lot of these games really changed my mind about a series that I thought was long gone and done for, like I would never play again. They changed my mind on a lot.
Way better than last year, I'll tell you that.
Way better than last year. Yeah. Way better. Anybody else have any God of War experience?
Yeah, I mean, I've never actually played the games, but I've always had friends that have played the games and they've told me about it, and I've always tracked the gameplay and different stuff like that. I take that back. I played God of War 2 for a little. Thought the concept was interesting, but kind of like you said, They have always focused on the angriest side. So one, that they took him out of Greece and brought him into this Nordic kind of Viking kind of world. I thought that was cool. And then he's, a lot calmer. Like, I'm pretty familiar with their character of Kratos, just because, like, kind of like Christian was saying, his story is interesting. So I've always, like, followed God of War, at least for the story aspect of things. So I'm a big fan of mythology and that kind of thing. So especially Viking mythology. I watched this TV show Vikings on History Channel. I'm catching up on season 3 right now, and I just like that style. I like that environment and that culture, so I like that they're kind of pushing it in that, and I think it'll be a good outlet and a good story for it. So at least for the story's sake of the game, I'm excited for it, and even I'm the type of person where if I never buy the game, I'll go online and just watch a storyline gameplay just to experience what happens to these characters. So. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all right, before we move on, let's give Deanie Tech a shout out. Javon, is this the guy you were talking about in the chat, right?
Yep.
All right, Deanie Tech, we're giving you a shout out. Check out his YouTube channel. Free promotion. You get on our podcast. That's what you get. You get promoted. All right, now go ahead and finish your point.
Oh no, I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah, you finished the point. No, but doesn't it feel like this? Like we're gonna have some type of like death battle, like Thor versus Kratos, like. That's
and I hope Chris Hemsworth voices Thor, because I want the satisfaction of destroying that bastard myself.
But what happens if he's like, no, he's like, but I'm not like regular Thor, and he's like, I don't know where, here comes the Hulk, and they fuse together. I'm Super Hulk Thor, and like jack him up, like, what I do ultimate film?
Too much.
Yeah, you went.
He needs to play Odin or somebody.
Yeah, you went full retard, Javon. You never go full retard. All right. Moving on. Now, this is something that Javon brought to my attention. The Legend of Zelda is coming out with a new game, so Nintendo did do something good, I guess, this year. And it actually has a title now. It is called The Legend of Zelda: The Breath of the Wild. Javon, you want to talk to us about this elf named Zelda? I'm kidding. I know he's not Link. I know his name's Link. Don't put the comments.
I know his name's like, boy. No, but no. Yo, real talk. Let me tell you something. This game made me pick up the Wind Waker HD remake for Wii U. Not because I don't play remakes. I do that. That's not really me.
Yeah, weren't you just against that?
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like,
because it's the only Link. It's the newest Link game they have. So I was just like, whatever. It's the newest one, and the other one is for the Wii. So I was just like, what's the point? Damn, did I just break my own point earlier?
You did.
Damn it!
I just said that.
Hold on, I'm gonna go back. Man, that game was whack. Boo! Saying that.
We will not edit this.
No. Right? I know, but not because I picked it up because it's a remaster, but that's the newest game they have. The game trailer was so good to me as a hardcore Zelda fan, because what's really hardcore? I was a hardcore back in the day Zelda fan. Like, remember the original black cartridge Game Boy Pocket, and the old school Nintendo Zelda.
The gold Nintendo cartridge, man. The gold Nintendo.
That was black.
Was black? Yes.
Nah,
man, it's gold. Oh wow, all right, gold one. And then I remember I got Ocarina of Time and the Seasons one. Those are dope. Like, this one looks like, what's a game? It kind of looks like a cartoony version of like. Maybe like some type of like, what's the game? An open world that kind of not like a Witcher 3, but like a open world cartoony, maybe Zelda. I don't know.
I'm saying it's more cel shaded.
It's like Zelda. Okay, yeah, it's like a Zelda game, but it looks really good. But it looks really good. No, seriously, it's like I just never expected Zelda to be cool like this. With the remaster, there's a lot of rumors about it. I thought they were gonna beat the bush with same old young Link saves Zelda and stuff, but he's like all older now. The Master Sword has been retired. Triforce is all done. It's just like, yo, what are they gonna do? The storyline itself, maybe we have a new antagonist now. Like, this can be huge. This can be really huge. And I'm really excited for this because it comes out for the Wii U. Because I'm not guaranteeing to buy an NX. So the fact that this comes out for a console that I already own is really awesome. And, this is probably the best game Nintendo has right now coming out the pipeline, which doesn't really say much, but it's a good game nonetheless.
Yeah, see, this is why I'm mad at Nintendo. Like, this is why I need them to put their games on other consoles because, again, like Jovan, I'm a Zelda fan from back in the day. I haven't played recently because I don't have Nintendo consoles, because why? But, like, just Zelda gameplay for me, just the adventure aspect of it, it's so engrossing, and it's just such a fun factor. Like, some games are fun, like, this is like a pure, like, childhood, like, just fun game. Looking at it, I was like, I must play this. Like, I want to play this game so badly, but I'm not gonna buy a Wii U for it. Almost am I persuaded?
Almost. Hey, look. Would you buy it? Would you buy it for a Scooby snack? No, but would you buy it if it came bundled for $2.99?
No, because see for me, like back to the whole issue of all the consoles and prices. I'm not gonna have more than one console. Like, for me, like, it doesn't make sense to have more than one. And so the one I have is the one it's going to be. And I'm not going to buy this one for that game, that one for this game, this one for that game. And so I wish at some point I could just play the console I want with the games I want, which is not going to happen. But that's what PC's for.
They got to have those. They got to have those exclusives, man.
PC, man.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to get through these next three really fast. And I'm going to switch around the order a little bit. The next one is the Ubisoft revealed a new action sports game. It is called Steep. It's an open-world action game that lets you make your way down fierce mountain cliffs by skiing, snowboarding, paragliding, and throwing yourself headfirst into death-defying wingsuit descents. The game, visually amazing. Everybody agree?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
I would definitely play that.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd play it at Walmart in the demo bin. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna buy that game, guys.
It's like Assassin's Creed for sports.
Yeah, no. If you're right. If it's for sports fanatics that enjoy sitting on their couch instead of going out and actually doing said sports, I guess.
Boy, put them on blast, Mike. Let's go.
So that's my opinion. I'm an idiot. Don't listen to me. I'm just saying this wasn't as interesting to me. You guys thought it was interesting, apparently.
I thought it looked good.
It did look amazing. It's graphically amazing.
There are other immersive games, and we'll get into that once we have our closing segment. But
yes,
there's another more immersive game, in my opinion.
Okay, cool. The next one I want to go over is that South Park released another one. It's called South Park: The Fractured But Whole. It was actually 2 years ago. South Park released an RPG game called Stick of Truth. What'd you say?
Take my money.
Yeah, right. You're a big South Park fan, I know. So, the Stick of Truth was actually a really good game. It played out like an episode of South Park where you created your own character and you were the new kid on the block. And this seems to be like you're still your character. You can make him be who you ever want to be. But this one is not how the Stick of Truth was based in, like, they were playing a fantasy game. Now they're all playing superhero characters. It seems really funny. The demo that they had was as funny as an episode of South Park. Stick of Truth was amazing. This game does look amazing. Anybody else agree? Disagree?
Yeah, 10 out of 10, man. Listen, have you played Stick of Truth?
It
looks entertaining.
Have you guys played Stick of Truth yet?
Yeah, I actually have.
A little bit.
Like, it's one of the only. It's like if you ever play like a good Telltale game, it's like the games that are so good you're mad that you're playing it because you rather watch it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Stick of Truth is so good of a game, just because of the dialogue and like the actual in-game character voices and how things just transition. It feels like an episode of South Park.
Yeah,
and that's what I love about their franchise lately. Not before, but lately, it is just. First of all, the concept alone, Batman v Superman, but it's in a Civil War way, which is DC v Marvel, and it's hilarious how one of the parts in there where he was like, "Fine, go ahead." He was like, "When you guys get started on your phase 1, I'll already be in phase 3." Like it was just hilarious because it's like, dang son, they went there.
Yeah.
This is gonna be, and they mentioned the fact that. That how Marvel was like, we're what did they say? We're more diverse. He's like, you didn't have a black guy until the end of season 4 or phase 4. He's like, what are you talking about? It was just hilarious. Oh my gosh.
We can all expect South Park's usual racy comedy.
Yep.
There was a part in the first Stick of Truth that made even me uncomfortable. So expect more of that with this game. It should be fun though. I'm excited for it to come out. Definitely not a day one buy for me, but I will be playing it. And our last game reveal had to be one of the weirdest. Now I'm going to try to pronounce this guy's name one more time. Hideo Kojima revealed his new...
Hideo Kojima.
There we go.
Kojima.
Don't do that. He's the creator of the Metal Gear Solid series, and he was also working on Silent Hills, like we stated before. And he and Norman Reedus, oh God, what's the guy's name?
Norman Reedus.
That one. They're teaming up again for another game, and this had to be the oddest trailer I've ever seen in my life. I'm pretty sure that guy loves Norman Reedus. Like, he's in love with Norman Reedus. Like, it's apparent. It's not...
It was a very awkward trailer to watch. I didn't know what was going on.
Do we know what it's about?
I'm still not okay.
No, I don't know what it was.
We don't know what it's about yet. It's definitely just a teaser trailer. Like
To what end? There was nothing teased.
We don't know. It's basically when Hideo Kojima announced it and he came out on stage and showed it, he accomplished 3 major things. Like, okay, I've left Konami, but this is my project. I have Norman Reedus.
Because I love him.
It looks good, and you have no idea what story I'm about to drop on you in this good-looking teaser. You'll have to stay tuned. That's it.
Yeah. So we have... So what we can gather right now is that baby that he's holding is obviously Hideo Kojima's Norman Reedus baby. That's all I can get from that trailer.
I'm not sure it's even a baby, for real. I don't even know what that thing was. Because did it disappear?
Yeah,
and then it's like...
After the trailer,
it was a hallucination.
Kind of like, yeah.
I don't even understand.
And there was oil dripping from his hands.
Something happened.
Yeah, it's weird.
Did any of you guys play the last Metal Gear Solid game that came out?
Nope.
Remember that one part where that girl just started dancing sensually for no good daggone reason? Remember that bit?
I want to make a very strong point.
See, that's why.
When it comes to Metal Gear Solid, like, no, who really gives a shit anymore? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I do.
Look, I mean, like, why? Okay. Like, after the last game. Now,
hold on. Metal Gear Solid was the recent one was an amazing game. The fan of
the last one that came out was a 45-minute game.
It was still an amazing game. Like,
for $60
a game that was amazing.
It wasn't amazing. Who buys a game that lasts like
no longer than a thought? Hold on. Did you play the game?
I played the last. I have the last Metal Gear Solid.
Did you play any prior games?
You said what?
Did you play any prior games?
Come see what?
Did you play any
exactly. He's taking a series that needs no context in.
All right. So let's move on before we get into another back and forth.
Before we get into an argument.
Yeah.
Listen. All right.
Here we go. I tried to move on.
Here we go.
That's it.
All right.
All right, let's go.
All right, moving on. All right, guys, let's talk about the best of the rest. I want to get everybody's...
stuff. Sorry.
Let's talk about any of the games that you guys were excited about. My two, I have two. The Spider-Man PS4 reveal and the Dead Rising 4. Both of those looked amazing. That's my 2 cents. Go.
For me, it was definitely God of War. Definitely Dead Rising.
Best of the rest, though. We already talked about God of War. You got to come up with something else.
Okay. All right, bet. So, the one that really caught my surprise was this one during the PS3 pre-show. It's called PS4. Sorry, my bad. So, during the pre-show, they showed this one trailer from Giant Squid called Abzu, I believe. And it's an immersive experience. It's the epitome of an immersive experience. You're playing a diver, and there doesn't seem to be any source of conflict. It looks like you're only tasked to explore, and there's so many different types of aquatic life. I love the art style. It looks like you encounter an extremely wide array of marine life, and it looks great. So yeah, it excited me and surprised me at the same time.
You took mine, so I forgive you.
Yes. Nope. You're welcome.
You got another one, Javon?
Yeah, I do. He actually had a backup plan just in case someone would have took it. Like, damn you, Greg. But Crash Bandicoot. Okay.
You did say that earlier.
We didn't mention it, but I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it. Crash Bandicoot remake. Now, not because of remake. Now, listen, this is not remake because it's we're just getting better graphics of a game. They're actually adding way more content to the games, and they're launching all three into one game. Crash Bandicoot, I'm down with you. New levels, new design, 3D world this time instead of a 2D platform, bro. This is to me. This is I'll buy a PS4 right now live on the stream. Just so
everybody else in the world said God of War is going to make them buy a PS4. Javon saw one panel of Crash Bandicoot.
No, it wasn't even a panel. You know what I heard?
He saw one screenshot of Crash Bandicoot and Skylanders. Was like, I'm gonna get a PS4.
Yo, you know what sold me? It wasn't until I saw the game. It was the sound before the gameplay when all you heard was doom 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 doom.
Oh yeah,
that right there. That sold me. I was like,
and it's weird how Sony did the nostalgia button right, and Nintendo keeps getting it wrong. It's not to go back to the point we had earlier, but I'm just saying it's weird how they hit the right nostalgia button.
Well, at least you got Zelda.
Yeah, we can get that.
They did it with Zelda, so I'll give them that.
Yeah.
All right, Christian, do you have anyone?
For me, even though I was confused by the gameplay that they showed, is Final Fantasy 15. Like for me, just any new Final Fantasy, like I'm down for that. Like please, more Final Fantasies, like forever. Let's keep them coming. Let's get like to 30, 40, 50. Just keep it coming. So for me, it was definitely Final Fantasy. It looked amazing. Again, the battle system looks interesting. I kind of lean to like the more of the turn-based. More turn-based than the real-time for Final Fantasy, but it looks good. Again, I couldn't tell what was happening in that gameplay video, but I'm definitely excited for that one for sure.
15 was a good one for me. A huge Final Fantasy fan already, so when I saw more footage from Final Fantasy 15, I was like, okay, I like that one. But again, Abzu took my pick.
Now, I have a question, because I know you guys are huge Final Fantasy fan. I only played, I think, 11. Whichever one was the one where I had theme song for Wishes.
It was 13.
13, okay, so I played 13. Because that one came with my Xbox. It didn't come with it, but it was like one of the main games that popped up, and I was like, I bought it. But,
not the ideal first experience, but continue.
But I mean, graphically, I liked it. It was a pretty game. I'm not really a huge fan of the turn-based games, but I'm excited because you mentioned the fact that, a couple times that Final Fantasy 14 is a really awesome game. Now, I'm wondering, is Final Fantasy 15 the same game, online-wise and everything, but just a newer version, or is this like...
No. See, the thing is, with each Final Fantasy that has its own continuing number, it's a completely different universe.
Mm-hmm.
So there are sequels like with 13, 13, 2, and so on, but Final Fantasy 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, and so on, all completely different universes. So it's a totally different story and experience.
All I have to say is, how about that flying car, though? That thing, look, I wish they'd make those in real life. All right,
we're working on one.
Yeah, let's hope. All right, last two. Oh, there he is. All right, cool. I didn't want to.
Yeah, I'm back.
All right, cool, great.
No, you're good.
All right, did you have a game that you want to talk about before we move on?
No, the only game that I was thinking about was I'm excited. I like the first Injustice game, so Injustice 2 looks good. They kind of went over a little bit more details about it, but that looks good. It looks exciting. It's fun.
Looks like
a fun fighting game.
Mortal Kombat X reskin to me, but
yeah, I mean that's all. That's all it was ever going to be.
Yeah,
but,
I mean the first Injustice was like that also. I mean, but it's still a great game,
Yeah, no, you're right. The first one was amazing. Let's hope they stop.
It's a simple, fun game.
Yeah, let's hope they stop using Superman as a plot device. I'm just saying. All right. So before we end the night, I want to talk about what did you guys think of E3 2016? Good? Thumbs up? Thumbs down?
Yeah, thumbs up. Yeah, thumbs up. 2 thumbs up.
Definitely good.
I've
Definitely
enjoyed
good.
it.
Everybody,
I'll give
two
it a
thumbs
thumbs
up?
up. Yeah.
2 thumbs
Of
up?
course.
All right.
She'll take unanimous.
That's a first.
For what?
But this is where we're all gonna get divided.
Oh.
Who won E3 this year? Let's be honest. Who won? Give your honest
Sony.
opinion. Sony for
Definitely
me
Sony
too.
for
Sony
me.
for me.
I think
I-
Microsoft.
I think
Okay,
yeah.
Christian.
I think Microsoft. Microsoft had more hardware, just new things to announce besides just games.
Okay.
Microsoft.
Yeah, I'm with Christian. It's Microsoft. When it comes to hardware, like they announce hardware. Everyone loves hardware. They announce games. They announce exclusive games. They announce different projects. They're bringing in PC as a whole vision. Which E3 is, it's like a developer conference. It's the vision of what's going forward with the company. They have more vision than everyone else. What it seems to me. The Xbox is still more of an entertainment system than a gaming machine compared to the PS4, but Microsoft killed it as I wouldn't say developer, as a manufacturer of consoles, and now they produce their own games with the Halo series and stuff. They announced a lot.
You're basically saying that they had a better vision than anybody else.
Long term, they showed their long term plan.
Gotcha.
All
right.
Great.
Oh, okay. All right. Gerald?
Yeah, I would definitely say Sony. Just from
Why?
a game standpoint.
Standpoint?
Mostly from just a game standpoint. I mean, the Xbox Slim and some of the other stuff Microsoft is doing, of course, it's good. But just from simply looking at the type of games that I would personally play, Sony was pulling all the stuff that I would at least, rent, if not flat out buy up front. So, I'm going to go with Sony on this one as well.
All right, Greg, we better say this in unison. Ready? Let's just say why Sony won E3. On 3. Ready?
No 3 needed. Just go on.
Got
You just got
Out the gate. Out the gate.
Presentation alone, guys, you guys got to admit, Sony killed it this year.
That was hot.
With that whole presentation.
Yeah.
So an orchestra and a game that we still don't know much about.
You have no context because you've never played a God of War game. Get out of here.
No, but in all seriousness, no joke. I've watched practically every single walkthrough. I actually enjoy the lore. That's why I thought he was dead, because last time I watched it, he died. So I was just like, okay, there's no more God of Wars after this. And people were saying that was the last God of War.
Well, no,
So,
he definitely got up. If you stayed to the after credits, he got up and walked right off. He walked it off. That's what Kratos does.
I'm just saying. In all fairness, I think the game is gonna be great. I think you guys deserve to enjoy that game for what it is. But to put down,
we're not putting down
everything
anything. No, we're not putting. Not
to put down, but to raise that particular game higher as a whole conference, as a whole vision.
Because, like I said, like in our discussion last night, the presentation alone hit it for us. Not only that, but that game holds a special place in me and Greg's hearts. So it's like it's another case of them hitting the nostalgia button in a good way. Where, like I told you guys last night, me and my brother bonded so much just over that game series alone. So that just brought up all those old time feelings, and I was just like, it's back. Like me, I called my brother that night after that trailer out, and we just bugged out for at least 30 minutes. Like, oh my God, it's new God of War, it's coming back. And he was like, dude, when you get it, you have to have me over. We got to play it together again. That's just
not even Sonic Adventure 3. If that would have been announced, I wouldn't still have that same feeling.
Sonic sucks now. He's like a.
Sonic
does everything.
If they launched
Sonic does everything. Sonic does Olympics. Sonic does K Street. Sonic does pretty much anything.
So does Mario. Listen, but you want to tell me right now, if they launched a Sonic Adventure 3, knowing how well both 1 and 2 did, you wouldn't be excited?
Not really, no.
Oh my God, man, yo. We're going
right,
here. Two-Tech is done. We're disbanded. All right, we're like Team Rocket and Red and Blue. Okay, we're done, son.
All right. Anybody have all right, so before we get out of here, anybody have a Game of the Year choice this year for all the games that were released in 2016? Everybody just say one.
Zelda.
Zelda for this year? Who said Zelda?
Based off of E3 or just in general for the whole year?
Seeing as how you picked this topic, you be able to make that choice.
I'll say
anything that's been released in the year of 2016 are going to be released. Let's go that way.
Overwatch.
Okay, Overwatch.
Yeah, it has to be Overwatch then.
All right, Overwatch. Greg?
I don't think it's going to be Overwatch, but there are so many choices. I don't know who's going to really take that one for me.
Do you have a personal choice? It's just a personal.
No, I don't right now.
All right, Gerald?
I'm not a big gamer, so I don't have a personal choice either.
Okay. I'm going to say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants in Manhattan. Moving on.
Yeah, no. We both know that. We both know that, Aaron. Come on.
All right. Thank you, guys. That is the end of the podcast. We are 3 minutes over. Thank you guys for hanging with us, whoever watched. And let's say our goodbyes, guys. Peace out for me.
Bye.
Catch us on Twitter.
You guys later.
Catch us on the YouTube. Catch us on the Google+. Welcome, Gerald. Thanks for coming on the podcast. Why do I keep getting your names mixed up? Maybe because they both start with G. Get some names. All right, guys. Yep. We'll catch you guys next week.
See you
next time.
Later.